Hey, what's up, everybody? It's been a while since I made a video, and I did think of a pretty, I think it's I shouldn't say interesting topic, but I guess like a relevant topic that's been on my mind the past few weeks, and I've experienced before. So this title is going to be a little melodramatic. I'll do a kind of a recap on how I've been, how my recovery's been, how the recovery house has been. But I also want to talk about having some, and it might seem silly, but lately I've been having some increased feelings of grief, of loss, and fortunately, it's not loss in the sense of losing a person that's dear to me. So I'm very grateful for that, but I've been having just, I don't know, feelings of grief over the loss of who I thought I used to be. And I'll explain a little bit more, but I just don't feel that, as of late, or even over the past few years, kind of ever since my massive nitrous binge and losing my job and being arrested, I feel that I don't have as many positive characteristics, or at least a few that I held dear to me. It's really hard though to say for sure, because one, it's from my perspective. It's not an outsider looking in, it's an insider trying to look in. But I mean, if you're already in, if you're part of the picture, you can't see the frame. Or at least part of the frame. I don't know. But so one, it's because it's from my perspective, but also two, because it's not objective. For my, I've been keep losing weight, and that's objective. I can look at the scale and say, okay, I weigh 189 right now. I used to weigh 220. That's a 30-pound loss. But as far as my characteristics, there's really no good way to rate those. So if that makes sense. And I guess since I'm talking about, I'll start off with that, and then I'll do kind of a recap on how things have been. What I've been feeling loss and grief over is the characteristic of being able to handle more, being a stronger person, being able to be more cool and collected. And again, I know that sounds really silly, but that's been, I've been having kind of sadness over the past few weeks about that. But also, sadness of missing my old life. I've been trying to be more mindful and focus on my situation now and be thankful for what I do have. So don't get me wrong, but lately it's just been hard to not look back and be like, wow, I really I effed things up super bad. It's I had a great paying job as a nurse. I had my own place. I had my own car. I had meaningful relationships, and I was in pretty good health, and no criminal background, which has been it still screws me over. But I think it's helpful to remind myself that while I had all of those, objects or kind of goals that society deems as successful, I really wasn't happy, and I was dependent on my abuse of alcohol and nitrous and just any substance, abuse of any substance, as a way to cope with the stress and anxiety from my job, from the depression and just feelings of nihilism of what's the point? I wake up, go to work where I get stressed out, and then I come home, and then I drink, go to bed, wake up and do it all over again. It's no wonder I was having, intermittent strong thoughts of suicidal ideation. because that's not, for me, that's not a life I want to live. So it helps me to do that. But I guess what also, so that's kind of like the materialistic, I guess. But like I said too, I do miss, I feel, and I could be totally mistaken. It's like I said, it's hard to say because it's not as objective and it's, coming from my perspective. But I feel like I used to just be able to do a lot more, or handle a lot more stress. Both in terms of just like my motivation, my ability, my resiliency. I feel like I used to be more resilient. Used to be much more calm. But, I could very well just be looking back and just seeing kind of the positives or the perceived positives and not the bigger picture. Because, again, I was abusing some sort of substance, if not more than one, on a daily basis. And, that's not really a great way to live life. But as far as like my ability to handle things and resiliency, I guess specifically it's been kind of my work ethic or, back in 2012, 2013, I was able to work full time, work 40 to 45 hours a week, and go to nursing school and do decently in the classes and do clinical and stuff like that and handle it. I feel like now if I was in that same situation, I don't know if I would be able to be as successful. For a few reasons. Things have really changed. I've really changed over the past few years, but I hate to say it also because I'm sober. I'm thankful to be sober, but I think without having substances to cope with, I don't think I would be able to handle that. And that's also kind of how I've been balancing these feelings of kind of loss is, yeah, maybe you were, but a lot of it was because you were abusing substances and you were unhappy and you were younger, and I would say I'm not diagnosing myself, but I would say I've experienced some trauma from working as a psychiatric nurse. I've seen, heard, and done a lot of things that still bother me to this day, and a lot that I could recall vividly. So, I'm keeping all that in mind. It really hasn't been affecting me that badly, but it's just still hard to not look back and be like, wow, I had it all. I used to be stronger. I feel like I used to be stronger. See, I'm trying to use proper language with it too. That's one thing I've been focusing on in terms of my recovery is the self-talk. For me, it's really easy to just negatively self-talk myself, even if it's not overtly noticeable. It could just be like, oh, wow, you're so dumb. If I, drop something. And it's like, that's nothing big. But still, like, if you're doing that multiple times a day, that's going to affect yourself. So yeah, I'm trying to keep that in mind, but it's just still hard. It's like, now I can like barely, I don't know. I guess what's playing into it too is the fact that I've been unemployed and I've really not been doing much, since losing my job in December 2019. But again, like, I don't know, I'm just like so much more happy. I feel much more satisfied with life. I've been slacking on the volunteering at the Recovery Cafe, which is something I really want to get into again, because that service work, even if it's so minor, it's very powerful for myself. Really helps my recovery. And, it makes me feel more accomplished and more productive. I'm not just sitting around doing pretty much jack-ish day in and day out. And I know that's not even the case. I've done multiple recovery coach classes. I've done the certified peer counselor class. I'm finally, I'm working as a recovery coach. It's technically volunteer, but I get paid for each meeting with my recoveries. I'm currently working with 2, and hopefully we'll be taking on some more. And I'm utilizing this time as best as I can to work on my recovery. So I do recognize that while I'm not working, I'm not employed, or doing like heavy education, I'm still not doing nothing. But it just, I don't know, man, it's hard. I guess another thing too that kind of bothers me is going back to that kind of feelings of being overwhelmed or that resiliency. When I worked as a psychiatric nurse, and also a little bit of detox at the last facility I worked at. But the last 2 places I worked, I was there on day 1 of opening, and it was a total crap show. I mean, it was it was so chaotic, and it's just like that's why I get bummed out, because it's like I feel like if I was in that situation now, I would just like crash and burn immediately. But yeah, like it's I just remember on those days people being like, hey, why are you so calm? Like, everyone's rushing around. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I was like super calm, but apparently calmer than some of my coworkers. Was someone coming home? I don't know. Sorry, I'm hearing something out the window. I'm sorry, guys. But apparently calm enough for others to notice and comment on. But yeah, again, it goes back to I was compartmentalizing. I was kind of shelving that stress and that anxiety and then dealing with it later with my substance abuse. So, yeah, all that just helps me just kind of remind myself. And, there are aspects or characteristics of myself in my life that I have changed for the better. So, it's not like I just lost certain things and, I haven't gained anything. It's kind of been a take and give in a way. I'm going to see something. Is someone home? No, I don't think they are. Okay. Sorry, because I have something in the kitchen too. I don't want someone to come home and be like, it's a mess. But, yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's not like dragging me down that much, but it's just been kind of on my mind over the past few weeks. I guess it doesn't help too this week. I'm feeling better today, but the past few days, I feel like I've been on the verge of getting sick. Not quite like a full-blown sickness, but I don't know if this happens to other people, but well, I'm sure it does. But when you, for me, like I start to feel kind of like a general malaise, like a fever, achiness, and then also my throat's been a bit sore the past few days. So, whenever I get sick, that tends to affect my mental health. I mean, obviously, or for obvious reasons. And it kind of sucks too, because I had strong intentions on going to the Recovery Cafe this week and volunteering Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Well, today's Thursday. But one, I kind of just wanted to take it more easy. And just in case, like, I truly was getting sick. And kind of see if I can just prevent that from happening, or at least lessen it. But then two, infection control. It's not really fair for me to possibly start getting sick and possibly being able to spread some sort of illness and being around people. So, but it does suck to have missed volunteering. And then I missed my outpatient group yesterday, which, yeah, it sucks. I really enjoy it quite a bit. But, I'm feeling better today. So it's like, I try not to play the what if game, because that can be pretty catastrophic, at least in terms of my mental health. But, it's like maybe I diverted or had it so I'm less sick. And I was able to recuperate. So as far as today goes, I'm still going to take it easy just because I'm still meh. Like I would like to work out today, but I don't think I'm going to. Finish this video, and then there's a few things I need to work on. I'm helping somebody with some of their assigned work. So yeah, I mean, otherwise, my mood and my energy's been, well, actually, it's been, oscillating quite a bit. There's been some pretty, or at least bigger fluctuations. I'm doing better this week. But it seemed like every 5 to 7 days, about every week, I was like more depressed, and then I was doing better, and then more depressed, and then better. So right now I'm in the better stage. It's times like these where I almost wonder if I am bipolar, whether that's bipolar, well, probably not bipolar 1 if that was the case. That's marked with more mania, and then less depression. Bipolar 2 is marked with more depression, and then it can have states of not even full-blown mania, but like hypomania, where you're more energetic, your speech might be like pressured and rapid, you still might have some grandiose thoughts, impulsive behavior. But for me, I think it's just me not being depressed, because I sleep just fine. I'm kind of talkative, but I've had quite a bit of coffee this morning, which has helped my throat too. It's been nice. So I don't think that's truly the case, but either way, doing decent this week. Just trying to survive on the days where I'm not doing so well, where I'm feeling more depressed. I think that's been kind of one thing that has been helpful for me. And I shared it in group last week, and it was kind of cool. Someone commented on it and said, they found what I said to be helpful. Yeah, I pretty much shared that, like I just said, on the days where I'm feeling more depressed, I don't put as much pressure on myself to accomplish things. I'll do what I need to survive, as best as I can. So on a day I'm super depressed, that might just be like getting like a meal in, and then maybe like a shower, and then that, like, not worrying about doing this or that, because that just puts too much pressure on myself and tends to, kind of keep me depressed, or at least spike my anxiety, and just feelings of self-worth just tank a little bit. So, and then on days like this where I'm feeling better, I can do more. So take advantage of those days like I am today, making this video because it's been a while and I finally feel like I have something interesting to talk about. And also I've been getting a few more subscribers too, which has been super, I'm not doing this for the attention, I guess. And I've said this multiple times, but it is still cool though. When I get subscribers or people that comment, that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos, is ultimately to help myself. But if it can provide some sort of insight or inspiration or entertainment to people, then it's that's especially cool. So I've gotten a few subscribers this past week, which is a more frequent rate. It's been building slowly. So that's been encouraging. But yeah, if I wasn't still feeling kind of sick, I would work out today. But I think what I'm going to do is just wait until tomorrow. I would much rather put a day off, a day longer of not working out, if it meant that I can have a better workout. Because there's no point in doing a workout now if I'm going to start feeling crappy and not being able to work out as intensely as I would like to. So I'm doing pretty good this week. And then it's been at the house several weeks ago. We got a new guy who has been really cool. He's pretty friendly. He seems pretty serious about his recovery. And just a calm dude. but apparently, I don't know the full details. Even if I did, I probably wouldn't divulge too much. But apparently, he's currently in jail on some charges that he already had. So he hasn't been in the house for the past few weeks. But we are holding his kind of spot open, especially because before him, the last two guys that we got, excluding Eddie, my roommate, but the last two guys that we got turned out to be like really, to say it nicely, not a good fit for the house. So yeah, we want to kind of hold on to this guy if we can, because, you know, he does, like I said, more serious into his recovery and kind of fits in a little bit better. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking of things like what else to recap. Like I mentioned kind of towards the beginning, or in the beginning of this video, that's one thing I've been stoked about, is I've still been losing weight and getting in better shape. And you know, it's not so much feelings of vanity, like, oh, I have to look good, or but, you know, honestly, like, it is nice to look good. You know, I think that's a desire for pretty much any human being, more so in others than, you know, anyways. But it's just nice, like, just, I feel better about myself. I feel more physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. And it has its advantages. I mean, if I'm running late and I need to sprint to the bus stop to catch the bus, I can do that. Or if I want to go bike to the grocery store, I can do that. And that brings back, I think one thing that's been helping me, especially this week, is just gratitude. I mean, gratitude is always a very powerful coping mechanism, or just in your life. Just being appreciative of what you have can help so much, because, you know, I feel it's pretty easy to just start being negative and just being like with my grief, you know, I could be like, oh, well, I don't have my own place now, and I don't have a car, my license is, you know, not valid, I'm on probation, I don't have a job, I have no money. It's really easy to just go down that route, and that's not a healthy place to be. In my opinion, it's not healthy for me. But I mean, I could be grateful for the fact that I'm alive. And this popped up, grateful that I can run, I can bike. I could have very well, as I've talked about in my other videos, I could very well still be physically disabled or impaired to some degree or another. I mean, I'm not like 100% normal, but like 99%. I mean, for the most part, it really is a non-factor that past experience of nerve damage and not being able to walk, let alone stand up without holding on to something. So, you know, just remind myself of the gratitude for that is incredibly powerful. Because, yeah, again, I could, you know, and from what I've heard or read from some people that comment on my videos, or from what I read online, people have experienced nerve damage from less of the laughing gas abuse and not had as great of a recovery. So yeah, that's a huge thing of gratitude. And then also just like, I'm thankful to be in the right mind, or at least less psychotic, less crazy. No, I'm just kidding. At least I don't think I'm crazy. I always joke that I'm like a personality A cluster, which is like schizotypal and schizoid personality disorders. It's not full-blown like schizophrenia or psychosis, but they're more eccentric and have more magical thinking. So I always joke that I'm in that category. But I'm pretty grounded in reality. And then also my mental faculties are pretty intact. I mean, I would say it's definitely had an effect, as you know, nerve damage from vitamin B12 deficiency, and also asphyxiation. So you know, I do recognize that that has had some sort of lasting impact, but the fact that I'm still relatively intact, I mean, it's just amazing. You know, so just that, being grateful for that really helps me. But you know, I'm also just really grateful for this house. I'm really grateful that I've been getting help with rental assistance, because I'd be homeless without it. I'm really grateful for my parents. They are always super supportive in any way they can. Grateful for my housemates. I mean, everyone here gets along for the most part. We support each other. You know, it's just a healthy. I kind of call it a sanctuary. And there's more. I could rattle off more, but I'm not going to. So yeah, my goal is to, you know, fully recuperate from this sickness. And again, I don't even know. Sometimes I just get like this if I'm especially tired. I heard a noise. I'm sorry. If I get like especially tired, like on Thursday and Friday night, I slept. Not this Thursday, obviously, but last week, there's a few nights where I slept like maybe an hour or two. I was just really restless. So sometimes I feel like I'm getting sick, that general malaise and achiness, but I'm not. I'm just tired. But either way, I hate being sick. So anything I could do to kind of prevent that or lessen it. So take today, rest, do what I can. Like I said, I'll work on some assignments and stuff. And then hopefully tomorrow, work out. I would like to go back to the Recovery Cafe. I need to follow up on trying to get some more recoveries, some more peers to work with. I'm grateful for the two I have. So yeah, I guess one thing I also want to do is start doing more, getting back into posting these or making more videos. I'm still, like, for me, it's been more spontaneous. It hasn't been like me planning. It's kind of more just me waking up, or over the past week having a certain idea, or wanting to talk about a certain aspect of my life, like the grief and feelings of loss, for this video. So, you know, I guess it's harder to like promise or like, you know, guarantee that I'm going to post more consistently. But I mean, we're already like halfway through January. So this is starting to also get out of the time of year where I get more depressed. So I'm hoping that with that, I can have more energy and more motivation to make videos, and hopefully some better things to talk about, or more interesting things to talk about. I've been also streaming. I would like to get back to streaming. I really enjoyed that quite a bit. It was just, I don't know, it's just fun playing video games and having some people tag along and chat. So yeah, I want to do that. So I'm feeling good. I got goals. Grateful, healthy. I really can't complain. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I always appreciate everyone that subscribes, likes, especially comments. I love reading and responding to comments. So, you know, general encouragement, or, you know, if you have a question, I'll answer it as best as I can. But yeah, thank you guys, everyone that watches and, you know, has just been supportive of this channel. So I'll see you guys next time.